How is it time for the semester to begin already? I didn't even get to participate in any hot girl summer shenanigans. What's up, Unfinished family? I'm back once more for your viewing pleasure. If you just so happen to stumble upon this video, I'm Dr. Jones, but the homies, like yourself, can call me Chelsea. On this video, I'll be giving you some helpful tips to get yourself back on track before the semester begins, so stay tuned. The first tip is to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any information about how to navigate the PhD journey. And the second tip is to follow me on the socials for when you need a break while you're studying. No, but seriously, coming back from a break is pretty tough. After you've finally gotten the chance to relax, if that was even possible, you have to gear up to get back to work. I'll give you some tips on what helped me get through the transition period of starting a new semester. The first thing being figuring out my schedule. I would write down a draft of the times that I absolutely had to be somewhere. So classes, standing meetings, TA duties, etc., etc. With this, I would start planning how much time I have between my hard scheduled items and plan for my soft scheduled items. That included when would be the best time for me to take lunch or what days were best for me to run my errands. Here's a piece of advice from me to you. If you have about an hour or less between your hard scheduled items, try to fill it with something that feels a little bit more like self-care. I've learned that unless you're doing something that doesn't require your brain to need a warm-up period, an hour is not enough time to get a significant amount of work done. You'll just burn yourself out by the end of the day, and if you do start on something, you might have to cut your train of thought off. The next tip is getting your tools for success. Now that you have a better idea of what your schedule is going to look like, you can better plan what tools you'll need for your daily activities. That includes going over what each class and mandatory duty requires you to have, like your textbooks or lab materials. This is one of my favorite parts. I enjoy finding things that might help me succeed. One might say that finding good finds is my favorite pastime. Just so you know, if this PhD thing doesn't work out, I might try a career as a lyricist. Getting back on track, I will make a list of things that I needed from the store, but I wouldn't be specific in what I write. Like, I would write down that I needed something to take notes with, and then when I get to the store, I would decide on whether I wanted a multi-subject notebook or a binder with dividers. This gave me the freedom to browse the store to see what they had to offer, and then decide on what I really wanted. Tip 3 is to start putting everything together. Getting organized should be easier now that you have your plan and your tools together. All you have to do is compile your tools to match your schedule. Tip 4 is adjusting the things around you to encourage you to follow your new schedule. You can do this by setting your alarms for you to wake up in the morning or prepping your lunches at night. Anything to make sure that your schedule is going to be easier to follow. I find this tip to be a bit more difficult than the other ones. You really have to be intentional and determined to change what you were doing before. But if you try to do this about 2 weeks before the semester begins, it won't be as stressful to do. You might not have guessed this one, but tip 5 is to get involved. I know I already told you to get your schedule together and you're probably all organized by now, but this is actually something that I recommend you doing after the semester has already started. Now that you understand what your days and weeks look and feel like, it's time to assess what you can do with the time you have left. It's easy to get caught up in only doing coursework or research, but I think it's refreshing to try to join a club, a group, or to volunteer. I do not recommend joining a group that makes you feel like you're just doing more strenuous work. Rather, a hobby type group or doing something that helps others. This could be something you only need to do once a week or even once a month, just so long as it's a change of pace from your regular semester duties. I hope you can use these tips to get your semester started off right and that you find motivation in putting them to practice. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the near future for more Black and Unfinished fun.